So, good evening, YouTube. Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's having a wonderful Wednesday. I've had a good day. It's been a busy day, but yeah, enough of that. We're going to talk about two stories that are in the media today. We'll start off in a minute about Martinelli, one player of the month for Arsenal. I don't know what that kind of says about the rest of the team, but there we go. But I'll come to that in a minute. I just want to let everybody know that I will be doing a watch along for the Spurs against Southampton game tonight with Guna Eagle Eye. His link is in the description. So make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. We're going to sit there, fingers crossed, Southampton can get a result. It's not looking likely, I don't think. I think Tottenham will probably win the game. But yeah, we are going to be doing a watch along for that game tonight. Also, I am starting a new video series on this channel that's going to drop at 7 a.m. Tomorrow morning, and it's going to be a Premier League show. So basically, I'm going to look at some of the stories in the media, not just from Arsenal, but from other clubs. Tomorrow's one I'm going to start off about VAR. So 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, that'll be scheduled in. If you are a member, big up everyone in the chat, members or non-members. But if you are a member, you'll get that tonight before I go to bed, around midnight, 2 o'clock, between midnight and 2 o'clock UK time. That'll be in your community post. Do you know what? The one thing I'll say as well here, right? I've got to upload that video twice. Yeah, so YouTube needs to fix up, right? Because there's no way of scheduling a video for members and then scheduling the same video for public for everyone else. I don't get that. So I've got to upload that video twice and do it differently. So, but yeah, if you are a member, that'll drop tonight on community post about midnight-ish, roughly. And it'll be the same every night going forward. And then obviously it'll be public at 7 a.m. every morning, going forward every single day. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the story about Martinelli. He appeared in 5 games last month in January, 312 minutes of football, 2 goals, 1 assist. And he is our player of the month. Now, he's been absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a baller. I don't want to sit here and say I told you so, but in June I told you so. but yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic since he's come here. But when you look at the stats, 5 appearances or taken part in 5 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. He scored the goal against Chelsea, run the length of the pitch. We know that. He scored against Sheffield United, and then he got an assist in the game for Saka the other day as well. So Bournemouth, I think that was. But that's quite worrying that our player of the month is not only somebody who's just joined, he's 18 years old and he's only got 2 goals, 1 assist. Listen, don't get it twisted. 2 goals, 1 assist in the amount of minutes, 312 minutes that he's played is actually pretty damn good, especially for a youngster. But where's the rest of the players? Why ain't anybody else anywhere near that at the moment? Like, why ain't anybody else? I'm not taking it away from him. Listen, fair play to him. He must be absolutely buzzing right now. He's moved to London. He's playing for Arsenal. He's scoring goals. He's doing really well. He's just won player of the month, etc., etc. And I'm just looking at it thinking, like, he must be on cloud 9. The geezer's quality, right? But that's a damning thing for the rest of that squad that somebody who's only played 312 minutes of football in January won player of the month. That's pretty damn worrying. What's the rest of them doing? And moving forward, they need to fix up, because I'd be looking at that kid right now thinking, he's our player of the month. What's he doing differently to me? And I'd be looking at him saying, no, I need to get to his level and beyond it. And if you already think you're above him, that's where you're going wrong. And I think a lot of the players in this squad do think that. I think they think they've already made it. They're on the big paycheck. It don't matter if they play crap, they're still going to get picked every week, etc., etc. And a lot of them could learn from him, because for me, I ain't seen anything bad about this kid. He don't look like he's the sort of lad that'll be out partying until 4 in the morning before a game. We ain't going to see him in the media doing stupid crap. And he looks like a model professional. And hopefully he kicks on and he goes to the next level after that. He's doing really well at the minute. So proper chuff for him that he got player of the month. But he's showing up a lot of the more senior players in the squad, and they need to fix up real quick. So hopefully this little winter break that they've got, I see that Arsenal tweeted it out, the quote from Mikel Arteta, yeah, they've had a really tough time at the moment, and I've given them a few days off, and then we're going to go and recoup in Dubai. Well, guess what, mate? We've had a real tough time watching that crap all season. Like, do we get 4 days off and then a trip to Dubai? Are you funding all of our trips? because we've sat through that crap all season. And these players are down tools a lot of this season, and some of them are still down tools. So yeah, mollycoddling them and wrapping them up in cotton wool and stuff like that, that don't wash with me. How about pull your sleeves up, pull your socks up, and start actually grafting instead of talking? But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's move on to Aubameyang. Now, anybody who hasn't seen my community post, I actually put the direct quote from Eric Abidal, who is the Barcelona sporting director. I'm going to read you the quote that he said. Right, it was asked on, I think it's a Spanish media outlet called Sport. I think they're Spanish. It might not be, but the platform is called Sport. He was asked about Aubameyang. He said it's logical that in the summer a number 9 will come. It is a necessity. We know that Luis Suarez will come back strong, but you have to bring a top player in the summer. I know Aubameyang. He has a profile that has depth. He is important, and in his team, he is decisive. It is good to bring this profile of player who can be in the market and can help you. We will see what happens. Wow. So I read between the lines on that, and I thought, okay, he's down to the last year of his contract come the summer. Have you had a conversation with his agent? Have you had a conversation with him? Is that why he's not signed a contract? Or is that just him putting that out there, very similar to how all the Barcelona players put the shirt on Cesc back in the day for the Spanish squad? Is that Barcelona flexing their might and their muscle, saying, well, look, we're Barcelona. We know you've got a year left, mate. So we're going to dangle that little carrot and you're coming to us in the summer. Luis Suarez is obviously out injured at the moment. He's going to be out for 4 months total, I think. And they will need a striker. I know they've got Griezmann. I know they've got Messi, but they're not really strikers. They're more number 10s, really. I think Griezmann's been playing left wing recently and Messi on the right. So yeah, they're not your good old fashioned number 9, are they? So I think they are going to buy a striker in the summer. It would not surprise me one little bit if Aubameyang goes to Barcelona. So then it comes down to how much, because he'll only have 1 year left. He's 31 in June. I know some people have said to me, every time I've mentioned his age, people have said to me, oh yeah, but there's other strikers that are still doing it at 34 years old. Yeah, other strikers don't rely on their pace, yeah, and their movement. Aubameyang relies heavily on both of them. Yeah, his movement, I don't see being any different, even if he was 54 or 55. Yeah, he's got quality movement in and around the box, and that's because he's intelligent when he's in and around the box. But the pace, it doesn't matter. Yeah, how old you are or how young you are, your pace is going to catch up with you at some point. And he ain't as quick as he used to be. I said this the other day on the stream. I watched him get caught up by Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans caught him up. A lot of people have caught him up this season. There was another game. I think it was West Ham. Yeah, who's their centre back? Can't remember his name, but he was gone, and the geezer caught him up. And when it comes down to pace and movement, and you lose your pace, you can't do that in behind. And listen, every time Barcelona play football, most teams sit and camp on the edge of their box. So technically, he doesn't need his pace, his movement to help him out. But Ogbonna, I don't think it was Ogbonna. It might have been, I can't remember. I don't know. Anyway, it was one of their centre backs caught him up. But yeah, Barcelona tend to camp teams on the edge of their box. So his movement might be fantastic for them because in and around the box, we know he's ruthless. But like I said, his pace ain't what it used to be when he was at Dortmund. Nowhere near that. It ain't even what it used to be when he first signed for us. Yeah, he's lost a yard. I'm telling you, every time I see him, yes, he's quick, but I'd love to see him in a foot race with some of the other players in the league, do 100 meters on a pitch sprint with Salah, Felipe Anderson, Sane, Sterling, players like that. Yeah, because I guarantee he'll get left behind. There's no way he's as quick as he was when we first signed him. He was lightning. Even Gary. Gary says that he was ridiculous at Dortmund. He was, mate. He was gone. Do you know what? Right? I've seen a lot of players come to the Emirates over the years. The fastest player I have seen, in my opinion, he might not be officially the fastest, but the fastest player I have seen live at the Emirates is Felipe Anderson. That geezer is ridiculous. Yeah, when we played him, I think it was the third game of Emery's reign. Yeah, that geezer ripped us a new one that day. They should have won that game as well. But Felipe Anderson, yeah, was unbelievably quick. Yeah, and I've seen Salah play. Salah's quick, don't get me wrong, but Felipe Anderson looked next level. So it would be interesting if the Premier League or some some YouTuber was saying that contacts could just get them all in a race and just see who is actually the quickest. Get Adama Traore in there as well. And it would be interesting to see that. Just do a proper 100-meter sprint. And I don't know, do best of 3 or something. I don't know. But yeah, them at Barcelona, they're definitely going to be in for a striker in the summer. And Barcelona, even if they win the league this season, they will still go and get players, because that's what Barcelona do. They're not a football club; they're an institution. They're a massive club, probably the biggest club in world football, and they don't stand still. Yeah, and if they don't go and get a striker this summer, I'll be absolutely shocked and amazed, because I know they've got Suarez, I know they've got Griezmann, I know they've got Messi. But look at last summer; they went and done Griezmann for what, 100-odd million quid, you know? So yeah, it's mad. They're going to go. I think they're going to get Aubameyang. I genuinely think he's playing us like a fiddle, and he's just saying the right things. He's waiting to get into that last year, and then boom, he's gone. Now, anybody who watched my deadline day stream will know that Claude sat on here, and there's a guy. I've actually met the guy. He's actually an ex-football agent. He was Andre Arshavin's agent. He was actually Maradona's agent at one point. And he via somebody else has told Claude that Barcelona did bid 80 million quid on deadline day for Aubameyang. Whether you believe that or not, I don't know. But listen, why would that guy lie? Yeah, that guy, he ain't a football agent anymore. He said that he spoke to Aubameyang's agent, and that's what happened. And Aubameyang apparently wanted to go. So whether that's true, I don't know. I wasn't privy to actually being there and hearing that out of my own with my own ears. But I don't see why Claude would lie about that. The guy who was actually the ex-agent, I've met him. He's a nice guy. Some quality stories that he told me, especially the Maradona one. That was sick when he transferred to Napoli. That was hilarious. But yeah, no reason to lie. So I do think Aubameyang is actually going to go. And then what do we do? Because we've already got a fan base that are siding with Arteta at the moment, that are happy with everything he's doing. Most people are anyway. They're just seeing where it goes. Get to the summer, we rebuild, we move on, we kick on, and we move forward. If Aubameyang goes, then what's going to happen? Is everyone going to blame the owner? Is everyone going to blame the board? Or is everyone just going to blame Arteta? Because this has been coming for a long time. Aubameyang has run his contract down. It's as simple as that. Listen, he's under no obligation to sign a new contract. We know that. If he adheres to the terms of the contract, he can run it down to its very last day. Yeah, why can't he? It's a contract from X day to X day, or X day to Y day, whatever. Yeah, and he doesn't have to sign a new deal. But at the same time, that's where a proper football club would say, right, well, you're gone then. Yeah, maybe not this month, just gone. Maybe that was a bit too soon to say, well, yeah, okay, we can't replace him. But at the same time, if you know that he's no closer to signing a deal, maybe that 80 million quid would have come in handy for the summer, and we just slum it until the summer with Lacazette up front, and then go with Martinelli, Pepe, Eddie. Yeah, and then we've got the 80 million quid. We've lost our best striker, but he only had a year and a half left on his contract, so 80 million quid would have been seen as good business. And then if we invest that in the summer in a proper player to go forward, rather than just going with some of the players we've still got, it might have been a good idea. Whether it could have been done in the time that was left on deadline day, I don't know. But come the summer, he ain't worth 80 million quid. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. He'll go for around 45, 50 million quid in the summer, maybe 60 at a very push. But we ain't getting any more than 60 for him. As soon as he goes into that final 12 months, we're fucked. It's as simple as that. And hopefully this club can take the money and move him on if he ain't going to sign. Because I said it on deadline day. Offer him a new deal, which I think they have. They have done for over a year. He still hasn't signed it. Same with Lacazette. They've both apparently been offered a new deal about a year ago. I think it was February last year. The news came out that they were offered new deals, and yeah, neither of them have got any closer to signing it. So I'd tell them both. You've got until the end of May, last day of May. If you ain't signed it, we're selling you. Simple as that. And that's what big clubs do. Give them an ultimatum. Tell them you're signing by then, and if you don't, you're out the door, mate. Yeah, and then you've stuck it on them, and then they can go and shop around and go and get a deal somewhere else. You then work the best fee out for you, for the club, for the player, and move him on. But then reinvest that money. Timo Werner's available in the summer. The geezer's record in Germany is just ridiculous. Can he step up and do it in a better league? That remains to be seen. But I do think he wants to come to the Premier League, so why not go and throw all the money at him? Yeah, If he wants to go, let him go, and then go and get Timo Werner. That's what I would do. Personally, I don't think it'll happen. I think he'll end up at Chelsea, but we shall see. We shall see what happens. Listen, do drive the likes up. I'm going to read some of your comments out. Let me know your thoughts on Aubameyang. Do you think he'll leave? Do you think he'll go this summer? I personally do. Laka, Neil says, does Laka have 1 year left? No. Come the summertime, Neil, he goes into the final 2 years. So we're going to go through all of this again in about a year or so's time. Personally, just sell them both, move on, and go and get 2 players. You don't necessarily need 2 strikers, but if they're going to hold us to ransom in terms of running, well, I wouldn't say hold us to ransom. That's probably harsh to say that, because, like I said, they're not obliged to sign a new contract, are they? They've got a contract. If they don't want to sign a new one, that's their discretion. But at the same time, the club needs to then start acting like a big club and say, well, hang on, we've got a potential £80 million investment there, which is what apparently Barca bid for him, an £80 million asset that's running his contract down, and the longer it goes, the less he's worth. So as a football club, protecting your asset, I'd get rid of him in the summer. Harsh, I know, but if he ain't going to sign, no way are we letting him walk out for free, because then we've lost at least 45, 50 million quid, like we did with Ramsey. Bagman says Ramsey held us to ransom. Ramsey was very smart what he'd done. Yeah, Ramsey was very smart what he'd done. Yeah, he wanted a lot more money than he was worth. I don't blame him, because he see a number 10 at this club getting a lot more than he wanted. So why wouldn't he want some of that? But at the same time, I think that it just went on and on and on. I remember the pre-season against PSG, and he'd done that little smirk on his face, and that's when I thought, you know what, just go, mate. Yeah, they asked him, "Oh, are you staying?" He started smirking again. Well, that's up to my agent. Yeah, how are you getting on at Juve, mate? Oh yeah, you sit on the bench every week. You've played 11 games this season and scored 1 goal. At least you got 400 grand a week. He'll be at Everton in a couple of years. I said this when he left Arsenal. Within 3 years, he'll be at Everton, because he don't get a game at Juve. They've got way too many better players than him. Good player, don't get me wrong. I did like Ramsey. I did think he was a good player. But 250 a week, no way, mate. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne ain't even on 250 a week. What makes him think he can have 250 a week? So, yeah, man, there we go. Allow him, he's a legend. He's an FA Cup legend, I'll give him that. He is an FA Cup legend. Keep Aubameyang if we sell him, we're F, says Unknown Driller. See, the problem I've got with that is that if you let him walk out for free, you've lost at least £40 million, because he's worth at least £40 million, let's say, yeah, when it comes to the final year, at least. Yeah, I'm just using the lowest figure here. He's worth at least 40 million quid in the summer, right? You let that walk out your club, you've lost £40 million you could get for him. Now you've got to invest on something else. Well, that something else might cost 50 million quid plus 200 grand a week for 5 years. Yeah, that's now £100 million investment, wages and transfer fee plus agent fee, 110 million quid for the new player, all in, plus you've lost 40 million. So that's £150 million cock up, isn't it, really? Yeah, because your new players basically cost you 150 million instead of 110 million. So I get it, but in business sense, you have to take the money, which is why I was shocked when we didn't take the 60 million for Alexis. We should have took that off Man City all day long. Instead, we held out thinking we'd flex our muscle at Arsenal, we're Arsenal, and then swapped him for a donkey. And there we go. That's where we mismanage our money, unfortunately, which is why we're in this mess, because we've got all the CAC on top money and all the best players we've allowed to leave for nothing. Evening to Dante, hope you're well. We don't need Aubameyang if we buy good midfielders. Bruv, our midfield is dead. They don't score any goals, man. Genuinely do not score any goals. Evening to Omar, hope you're good, mate. If he hasn't signed a new deal by the summer, we have to sell. Agree. We'll probably need him to trim the squad if we don't get Europa. I still think we can get Europa. I still think we could potentially, I know it's out there, but we could potentially get top 4 if we start doing what's required. You know, I said this the other day, put 5-6 straight wins together, which are double our wins for the season, by the way. We'll be 4th, there or thereabouts, right on the coattails. But we have to do what's required in terms of dropping the players that are not performing and playing players in their right positions, like Aubameyang. Put him up front. We're not going to do that. and against Newcastle, it'll be there or thereabouts the same lineup that started the other day. And that ain't going to work. It's already proven that. Arsenal will not get more than 50 million in the summer for Aubameyang. No way. Evening to you, Ali. Hope you're well. Arsenal midfield equals CAC. Evening, Neftali. Hope you're well, mate. Club before player. Exactly, Jason. Exactly. Yeah, and this is what I don't get with certain people, right? Is that like they back the player over the club. Yeah, these players come and go. They couldn't give a toss about this club. Yeah, do you think Aubameyang loves Arsenal? Of course he don't. Yeah, of course he don't. Yeah, it's a platform for him to play on that's going to pay him a lot of money and boost his profile because it's the Premier League, which might then get him it's a stepping stone perhaps to then get him to where he wants to be, which is either Real Madrid or Barcelona. So they don't care about Arsenal. Joe Willock, maybe. He's been at the club two-thirds of his life, maybe 3/4 of his life. He cares. Maitland Niles, he probably cares. But a lot of these players couldn't give a toss about Arsenal. Yeah, they probably didn't even know what Arsenal was when they started playing football. Do you know what I mean? Having the worst midfield in the Premier League is nothing like the Arsenal team. Right, our midfield, I swear, right, is the biggest issue at this football club. I've said this for a very long time. It's a bigger problem than the defence. It's a bigger problem than defence. Hopefully, bad business will get the owners out. Well, it won't, in my opinion. The only way the owner goes is if somebody pays him a ridiculous amount of money to leave. But why would he? Why would he leave? It's making money at the minute, albeit the profits are slumping. Still making money, innit? And until it stops making money. It's like when people say boycott the games. Well, that's all well and good, but there's 100,000 people waiting for a season ticket. So if 60,000 decide, I ain't renewing, there's another 100,000 that will. So it's like when people say don't buy a shirt. Adidas have already paid them all the money. 95% of the money goes to Adidas. 5% of your shirt goes to the club. So that ain't going to dent it. Don't buy a soft drink in the club. Don't buy a beer in the club. Don't buy burgers in the club. Well, they've already been paid. The catering team pay up front for 3 years. Yeah, they do a 3-year contract. So they're already there. They're already paying, and everything they make on match day is theirs. So that's where Arsenal are clever. That's where these football clubs are clever. Everything's paid up front. Yeah, and then all of the stuff on match day doesn't really go to the club because they've already got the money. And it's very difficult to get an owner out. Very difficult, especially when he don't give a toss and you don't even know we play. So he probably didn't even know we played the other day. Ramsey will probably be the best has probably been the best midfielder we've had recently, says Bub. Evening to Bub. Santi too. Probably. I'd say Santi. If you go in the last 5 years or so, Santi and Ramsey are probably the best we've had. But I miss Santi a lot because he was class, man. He was just brilliant. Doesn't matter where he was on the pitch. You could play him in goal, he'd still look great. Ramsey, I don't think his Premier League career was that amazing, but FA Cup wise, the geezer was a big game player, wasn't he? Imagine if we got relegated, would Stan sell? Possibly, you never know. You never know. But then you get the balloon payment, didn't you? Yeah. Look at Aston Villa. I remember the summer just gone. Yeah. Everyone was in meltdown because Villa had gone and signed 12 players. Oh, they've spent £100 million. What are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah, everyone forgets they got the balloon payment for being relegated. Yeah, a couple of years back. And then they got let me start that again. They got the balloon payments for being relegated years back. Then they got up via the playoff final, which is the richest football game on the planet. So if you add up all of their money, that season or that couple of seasons, they probably had an income stream probably 20 times bigger than the next team in the championship. Yeah, and then obviously they've come into the Premier League and then they're on par with probably the top 10 teams in the Premier League financially because of them balloon payments and because of that reward of getting via the playoffs. Yeah, it's massive money, man. Massive money. I think it's like 140 million quid if you win the playoffs. And then when you get relegated, the balloon payments are like 100 million quid. It's just ridiculous. So, you know, if your wage bill is only 20% of your income, you're doing all right. And Villa's wage bill is tiny compared to ours. Our wage bill, I think, is the 3rd or 4th highest in the Premier League. We're not the 3rd or 4th best team in the Premier League or 3rd or 4th best squad in the Premier League. And that is where we've mismanaged our money over the years. And we've paid the wrong players the top money. and now we can't get rid of them. So, £240 million a year wage bill is just ridiculous. I mean, look at Liverpool. Liverpool are walking a Premier League title. We've spent less than them in the last 5 years net, and £25 million, £27 million more than less than them gross in the last 5 years. So their average spending £5 million a year more than us outlay before incomings, before net. So gross, they're spending £5 million a year more than us for the last 5 years. Look how much better their team is. Yeah, because they've managed their money properly, and that's nothing to do with an owner or him and his son. That's to do with the dickheads that are running this football club, the board of directors, Raul, and anybody else. Gazidis, Wenger. You could throw Emery in there, but it was a new setup, so maybe it weren't him. Maybe he didn't get a say. But when you're doing 35 million quid on Xhaka instead of 32 million pound on Kante, there's a real issue there. And the reason we didn't buy Kante is because apparently the overall package for wages and his agent worked out 2 million quid more than the overall package for Granit Xhaka, even though Xhaka was £3 million more. So that's where we're at as a football club, unfortunately. And people can keep throwing it at the owner. Yes, the owner's an issue. And yes, now he is the owner, which he's only been for 12 months, by the way. He probably can sack the whole board now, but he ain't going to, because he knows fuck all about football. It's like me going and buying a dildo factory, like the owners of West Ham. I could go and buy a dildo factory. If I don't know nothing about dildos, oh yeah, well, I bought it, I own it. Yeah, you just keep running it. You've been in the industry 30, 40, 50 years. You just keep running it, mate. As long as the money's coming in, I couldn't care less. Yeah, and and you're buying shares into that. When you fully own it, you can sack everyone. When you're a shareholder, you can't. You just get a vote. So it's kind of hard to overhaul an owner. I mean, look at Newcastle, for example. Mike Ashley's been there for, 12, 13 years? They've wanted him out the whole time he's been there. Why ain't they got him out then? They can do all their protests all they like. They ain't got him out. He still goes to games. He still sits there having his pint in his executive box in his posh chair. They don't give a fuck. Yeah, and he goes to games. So it's really hard to get an owner out. Lee's Dildo Factor, get that on a t-shirt. I'll big up yourself, Gary, for ordering a t-shirt, by the way. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you, buddy. That should be with you very soon as well. So thank you for that, mate. What's up, Lee? It says Arsenal Cape Town. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm very good. I'm doing a watch along for everybody watching this live. I'm going to wrap this up in a couple of minutes. But I am going to do a watch along for the Spurs game tonight. So if you want to come and check that out, feel free. Chig's link is in the description. Lee built a dildo, got a dildo factory. Pass it on. Yeah, I should put that on the t-shirt. Let me be your dildo. Oh, for fuck's sake. I swear to God. Newcastle did spend big in the summer. They did, but if you look how much money Newcastle has spent, Chris, right, in the 14 years he's been the owner, or 12 years he's been the owner, yeah, they have not really spent that much money. They've had the balloon payments constantly because they keep getting relegated and coming back. And Newcastle fans don't want him there. He still sits there proud as punch on match day with a pint in his hand, not a care in the world. And I don't know. There's so many ideas on how to get somebody ousted out of a football club, but nobody's ever done it yet. Do you know what I mean? As a football club, look at the guy at Blackpool. Yeah, what's his name? Oyston. Yeah. Has he left yet? I think he's still their owner. He don't give a toss. They're going trying to petrol bomb his house and all sorts, yeah? Like, that guy's had death threats and all sorts, like legit death threats where he's had to report them properly to the police. He don't care. Yeah, they're throwing tennis balls onto the pitch during a game and all sorts, yeah? He don't care. He still sits in his director's box. Ours don't even turn up to a game. And all these ideas of trying to get him out, listen, focus on the board of directors, because that is the fucking issue at this club, in my opinion. But there we go. Kroenke could pick a new board at random and it would still be better than the current one. Exactly. This is like, listen, people get it twisted and say that I'm twerking for Kroenke and, oh, you're this and you're that. Yeah. No, I'm just not fucking, I'm not a sheep. Yeah. I thank you for that, Don Scalacci. I'm not a sheep. Yeah. I know the ins and outs of this fucking football club's finances. It's all up here. It's all up here. I know everything from their latest accounts. I know everything about their last accounts. I know how a fucking transfer works. I know how staggering payments works. And people just think it's very easy to get rid of somebody and get somebody else in, and all of a sudden we're going to do Man City or going to do a Chelsea and start throwing billions of pounds at it. It don't work like that. It genuinely don't. The only way you can throw more money at it is increase your revenue stream. How are we going to do that? Man City done it by getting Etihad to sponsor their T-shirt, yeah, to be the shirt sponsor, yeah. So Stan could do that with Walmart, yeah, because his wife's part of Walmart. Why would he? Why would he? If he looks on social media every day, all he sees is people cussing him. Why is he going to throw his money at us? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, if somebody was sitting there slagging me off every fucking day and then asking me for money, yeah, I'd tell him, well, go fuck themselves. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Yeah, so I get why he's not doing it. But the only way we're going to increase our revenue stream is by doing, I don't know, sponsor the training ground, call it the Walmart Training Centre or something. Yeah, Arsenal's Walmart Training Centre, or London Colney sponsored by Walmart. Sponsor that for £2 billion over 5 years. All of a sudden, you've increased your revenue stream by £400 million a year. Yeah, so that's the only way you can do that. Yeah, suddenly going and getting a sponsorship deal to make our revenue bigger, to mean we can spend more out. And like a lot of people that think that we can just throw stupid money at everything, you can only increase your wage bill 7% a year. Yeah, people forget that, or people are just ignorant to that, and people don't want to know about that. So if our wage bill is £240 million, which it is, why do you think we've done so many deals in the summer, like getting Mkhitaryan out, getting El Neni out, getting Cole Jenkinson out? There's 200 and 300 grand a week we've just got out just there, because then that comes off the wage bill every single year. That comes off for the annual year, which drops that down, which means you've now got that to play with plus the 7%. You know, so when you're putting Pepe on 140 grand a week, when you're putting David Luiz on 140 grand a week or whatever, you know, that 140 grand a week that you've paid them two players has covered the free shit fuckers that have left. Yeah, so now you've still got 7% to move forward. And like, you know, people don't understand that. It's very easy to sit and scream and shout about something you don't know just to follow the herd. Simple as that. Yeah, maybe have a look into stuff properly and read between the lines, see how amortization works, see how financial fair play works. And people say, oh, financial fair play is a load of bollocks. Well, it's not, which is why Chelsea don't spend that much money, even before their transfer ban. Yeah, they have not spent that much money. And they're running it like a business. And that's one of the reasons why Abramovich is not allowed in the country, because he broke financial fair play rules. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, listen, on that note, I am going to wrap this up. Lee for the board. Hey, bruv, if I was on the board, yeah, the first thing I'd do is get rid of half of these players. Yeah, I'd even just buy their contract out and just take a hit for a year. Yeah, we all know who I'm talking about here, by the way. There's your £24 million for the next 18 months. Go and enjoy your life retired in Turkey, my friend. Yeah, by the way, he's out there at the minute. I found it hilarious that Mohamed El Neni put welcome home to the king of assists or something. The king of assists has had 2 assists in 2 years. No assists in 2 years away from home. 2 in 2 years total. Anyway, love to you all. Listen, if you want to join the membership scheme, feel free. That's in the description. I'm about to record my video for tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., which is a new show that I'm doing every single day. It's having a little look at some of the latest things Premier League wise, not just Arsenal related. So tomorrow I'm going to look at the VAR, the winter break. I'll touch on the Aubameyang story a little bit towards the end of that, but mainly I want to focus on the VAR and the winter break. I'll speak about Klopp in that as well. And I'm going to record that in a minute. I'm going to schedule that in for 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Anybody who's a member, whether you're level 1, 2 or 3, that'll be out about midnight tonight. So if you want to get it early, you can sign up to a membership. If you don't want to get it early, you don't. It's as simple as that. If you want to watch the watch along tonight, that'll be on the channel later on. Me and Chig are going to do a watch along for the Tottenham game. So come join in and check that out. Chig's link's in the description. The website for the clothing is out as well. Big up the ones that have already purchased off of that already. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And the orders will be shipped out soon. I think they've already gone, actually. I might be wrong. I need to check. But yeah, that link's in the description as well. So go and check that out. If you're a member on level 3, you get 20% off of the merch for life. If you're not on level 3, anyone else is 10%. There's a discount code Lee10. So go and check that out. Anyway, I'll be back later. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you all for the Spurs game against Southampton. Laters, peeps.